You know, I used to think living in a neighborhood with a homeowners association, an HOA, meant everything would be pristine. Manicured lawns, matching mailboxes. You know the drill. It also meant dealing with people who had a little bit of power and a whole lot of bad ideas. And boy, did our HOA have some bad ideas. Our neighborhood is beautiful, or at least it was. It's nestled in this gentle valley, and we had this charming little creek that meandered right through the backyards of about a dozen houses, including mine. It wasn't huge, just a peaceful, gurgling stream that was home to frogs, dragonflies, and the occasional duck family. We loved it. It was a slice of nature right outside our back door. Then, about 2 years ago, the new HOA board was elected, and let me tell you, this new board was ambitious. They had grand plans to modernize and improve the community. Their first big project, the creek. At a community meeting, the board president, a guy named Barry, who took his job way too seriously, unveiled the plan. He said the creek was unruly, an eyesore, and a potential liability. His words, not mine. He pointed to some pictures of slightly eroded banks and a few fallen leaves in the water. According to him, this was a catastrophe in the making. Their solution: they wanted to pave it. I'm not kidding. They proposed lining the entire creek bed and its banks with concrete. They called it a stormwater management channel. We called it insanity. The room erupted. People like me, whose properties backed up to the creek, were horrified. We tried to explain that the creek was a natural waterway, a part of the local ecosystem. It absorbed rain. It supported wildlife. Paving it would destroy all of that. One of my neighbors, a retired civil engineer, stood up and gave a detailed explanation of why this was a terrible idea from a hydrological standpoint. He warned that a concrete channel would just speed up the water, creating a firehose effect downstream and increasing the flood risk for everyone. Did the board listen? Of course not. Barry just smiled condescendingly and said their professional consultants had assured them this was the best course of action. They had the votes, and that was that. The motion passed. We were all assessed a hefty fee to pay for the improvement. A few months later, the construction crews arrived. It was heartbreaking to watch. They ripped out the willow trees, the cattails, the wildflowers. They dug up the beautiful, meandering curves of the creek and replaced them with a straight, sterile, gray, concrete ditch. The frogs went silent. The dragonflies disappeared. Our beautiful natural stream was gone, replaced by something that looked like a dystopian drainage canal. The HOA, of course, declared it a massive success. They even put a little plaque next to it, a testament to community progress. I wanted to throw that plaque into the concrete monstrosity they created. For a while, life went on. The concrete channel was ugly, but it was just there. When it rained lightly, water would trickle down it. The HOA would send out newsletters bragging about how clean and efficient it was. We, the Creekside residents, would just shake our heads. We knew they had created a ticking time bomb. We just didn't know when it would go off. Then came the storm. It wasn't even a hurricane. Husteriali, really intense, multi-day rainstorm, the kind we get every 5 or 10 years. The sky turned black, and the rain came down in sheets. On the second day, I started to get nervous. I looked at my back window, and the water in the concrete channel was no longer a trickle. It was a raging, brown torrent. It was moving so fast, it was terrifying. My old neighbor, the engineer, had been right. The natural creek bed, weeded soil, rocks, and plants would have absorbed a lot of this water and slowed it down. But the concrete, it was like a water slide for a flash flood. The water had nowhere to go and nowhere to slow down. I remember standing at my glass patio door, watching the water level rise with sickening speed. It climbed up the concrete walls of the channel, and then it just kept coming. It spilled over the top and began to spread across my lawn. Within an hour, my entire backyard was a lake. Then, the water reached my patio. I started grabbing towels, but it was useless. It seeped under the door, then started pouring in. I ran to the front of my house and looked outside. It was chaos. The street was flooded. Water was pouring into my neighbors' homes on both sides. The concrete channel, designed to manage stormwater, had collected all the rainfall from the upper part of the neighborhood and shot it directly into our backyards and our houses with incredible force. It hadn't managed anything. It had created a disaster. My basement was completely flooded. My first floor had 4 inches of silty, disgusting water. Furniture was ruined. Floors were warped. Drywall was soaked. And it wasn't just me. A dozen homes were devastated. The lower part of the neighborhood was a disaster zone. And the HOA, Barry and the board, at first, they were silent. Then, they sent out an email while we were ripping out ruined carpets and dealing with insurance adjusters. The email basically said this was an unprecedented weather event, and the stormwater management channel performed as expected, but the volume of rain was simply too great. They took zero responsibility. Are you kidding me? We told you this would happen. We warned you, we begged you not to do it. You ignored scientists. You ignored engineers. You ignored the residents who lived with that creek every single day. And now, our homes are ruined because of your arrogance and your obsession with progress. The irony is, the HOA's insurance doesn't cover this. Our individual homeowners' insurance is fighting us on it, calling it a flood, which requires separate coverage. We're all facing tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in repairs. Several families had to move out. Our property values have plummeted. So now, a group of us are suing the HOA. We're not just going to let them get away with this. They turned our beautiful, natural neighborhood feature into a weapon that destroyed our homes. All because they wanted things to look clean and tidy. Well, it's not so tidy now, is it, Barry? It's a muddy, heartbreaking, expensive mess. And it all could have been avoided if they had just listened. So if you're ever dealing with an HOA that has a grand, modern idea, please fight them. Do your research. Talk to experts. And don't let them tell you they know best. Because sometimes, their idea of progress is just a fast lane to disaster. Thanks for listening to my story. I hope it serves as a warning. Don't forget to follow for more updates on our fight.